Our top focus this morning, the Karnataka Hijab Showdown is all set to resonate in the Supreme Court yet again. And this comes after the Karnataka High Court said, open all educational institutes, but don't allow a saffron shawl or a hijab to be worn in the campuses for now. It's because of this that the petitioners, the High Court petitioners, have now moved the Supreme Court against the interim proposal by the Karnataka High Court that students cannot wear religious outfits to schools and colleges till there's an order in this matter, till the court decides on the matter. The Karnataka students' plea will be mentioned before Supreme Court for urgent hearing. This comes even as the Karnataka government has announced that schools will reopen in the state from Monday. Classes 1 to 10 will reopen in the first phase. So classes 11 and 12 will not reopen on Monday. The Karnataka Chief Minister is also going to be holding a very important meeting today with ministers and the Education Department officials. The Karnataka High Court yesterday, during its hearing, proposed that institutions reopen, saying that students have suffered enough due to the pandemic. We must ensure that education continues, but they also appeal to all students not to wear any religious dresses to schools and colleges for now. The court also urged students to maintain peace and tranquility, appealing to everyone to refrain from adopting any religious practices while the matter is still being heard.
There is no interim relief for students in Karnataka demanding permission to wear hijab. The Karnataka High Court on Thursday asked the colleges to reopen. It has asked students to desist from wearing hijab or saffron shawls or any other religious symbol. The next hearing on the plea filed by Muslim students against hijab ban is on Monday. The petitioners have called the hijab ban a suspension of their religious beliefs.
I don't think so. If a saffron shawl is a right to them, they can allow it. But they created this issue soon after we are wearing it. We are wearing it from before. Our ancestors, everybody used to wear this headscarf. Not only us, but everybody used to wear. I don't know where they brought a new rules. In India, for a girl to ask for a justice, she must have been trained or what? She should be trained for ask to justice. Some other people should be trained her to ask for justice. Why I can't raise my voice for a justice?
The Basavaraj Bommai government says schools and colleges will reopen in phases. It has urged students to maintain calm and cooperate.
All my school and college campuses are peaceful, and our students have behaved very well since last 2 days, very well, and I thank them for the restraint. I also appeal to everybody, students, teachers, parents, SDM members, management members, departmental officials to work together and see that there is a peace in the campuses.
Meanwhile, protests in support of women's choice to wear hijab are spreading across the country. In Tamil Nadu, the CPM student wing held a protest arguing that a woman's choice to wear any dress she wants is a fundamental right protected by the Constitution. Politics is adding fuel to the fire. The issue is resonating.
कुछ लोग चुनावों के समय अलग अलग प्रयोग करते हैं, वातावरण खराब करने का काम करते हैं, जो मुद्दे नहीं होते उनको मुद्दे बनाने का काम करते हैं। आखिरकार देश भर के स्कूलों में, कॉलेजेस में यूनिफॉर्म होती है, तो जहां पर जो रूल है वो रहना चाहिए।
हम हिजाब पहनेंगे।
While the political fight continues, the decision on whether the hijab ban is constitutional will be decided by the courts. In doing so, the courts will have to decide if wearing a hijab is essential to the practice of Islam. With Nolan Pinto, Nabila Jamal and Mustafa Sheikh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's take this across to Nolan Pinto, who's joining us live from Bengaluru. In a few moments from now, Anisha Mathur, our legal correspondent, will also be with us. Nolan, the petitioners now are moving the Supreme Court because what happened in the Karnataka High Court yesterday, while there's been no verdict, no judgment from the court, that interim stay on wearing religious outfits in schools and colleges is being deemed as a setback for the petitioner.
Well, Akshita, in fact, on the second day of the hearing, that is when Justice Dixit, the single bench judge, was looking into this, the advocate for the petitioners had actually prayed for this, saying that give us an interim relief wherein the students can head back to school or college for 2 months, just 2 months, because exams are due in the month of April. Justice Dixit had denied, saying that after the larger bench or the full bench is set up by the Chief Justice, he will take a call. Now, yesterday, they went and asked for this. They prayed for the same relief. But ultimately, he said that we will reconvene on Monday. But during that time, towards the end, the Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court said that schools should open, colleges should open, students can't be sitting at home. But he also came out with a rider that status quo, no scarves, no hijabs, no saffron shawls. They will have to go back to school wearing uniform till the time they take up this matter again on Monday. Now, this has not gone down well, and that's the reason why they have actually taken this matter up for an urgent hearing now in the Supreme Court, because they believe that this is an interim order which goes against the rights of the students. And they came out with this idea that you are asking us to choose between food and water, and when both are important. So that's what's happening over here, and that's the reason why they've asked for this urgent hearing now.
Okay, let's take this across to Anisha Mathur, our legal correspondent. Anisha, so now, again, this is coming up before the Supreme Court. Yesterday, the top court had said very clearly, let's wait for an order from the Karnataka High Court. But this is particularly with regards to the interim stay on the religious dresses being worn in schools and colleges that was issued by the Karnataka High Court yesterday. Is this going to come up for hearing immediately today?
Well, we need to wait and see what happens at 10:30 when this matter is mentioned before the Chief Justice's bench for urgent hearing. Remember, because the Karnataka High Court order was passed late last evening, the petition itself is going to be filed before the registry. Then the Chief Justice has to give permission for an urgent hearing. But as Nolan was pointing out, the petitioners who had gone before the Karnataka High Court are now in the Supreme Court for an urgent hearing, saying that the interim order, which says that students should go back to school or college, but should not insist on wearing a religious dress, that is what is now being challenged before the Supreme Court in this fresh SLP that is set to come up before the Chief Justice's bench at 10:30 a.m. Now, we'll have to wait and see whether the court agrees to hear it immediately or not. But the argument from the petitioners, the students, is that if in the interim, while the High Court is hearing the matter, before the High Court decides the matter, the students are asked to go back to school without their religious dress, that is effectively quashing their right of conscience. That is effectively telling them that you cannot follow your religion as long as you go to this college or school. And that is directly, according to the petitioners, an attack on Article 25 rights to follow their religion. The other thing that they've said is that there has to be a stay of this Karnataka High Court order passed yesterday. Now, this is, of course, separate from the petition that had come before the Supreme Court yesterday. That petition had said that these issues are larger issues of religion versus state interference, that these are larger issues that the Karnataka government does not have the authority to pass this kind of a government order. And that is why a 9-judge bench of the court should hear this. And the government order passed by the Karnataka government, which has upheld the dress code, which has said that hijabs cannot be worn, that order should be quashed. But right now, what the fresh petition wants is a stay on the Karnataka High Court's order and an interim order favoring these students, allowing them to go back to school, go back to college and wear the hijab. Now, we'll have to see whether the Chief Justice's bench agrees to hear it.
All right, we'll be tracking that. 10:30 is when we're expecting clarity from the Supreme Court on whether they'll admit this petition and whether it's going to be heard today or not. Anisha, for the moment, thank you very much for joining us. Nolan, request you to stay on with us because there's also, again, a political showdown that's playing out in Karnataka over this entire controversy. Why? Because there is a communal, an extremely polarized comment that's been made by a Congress corporator in Gulbarga. Ahmed Patel, speaking on this entire issue, has in fact made a very controversial statement. The corporator protested against the removal of hijabs and called it an attack on the community. What's worse, he's in fact gone on to state that women wear half blouses and enter temples. Yes, don't stop them from entering. Then why target only our community? The BJP immediately responded to Ahmed Patil hitting out at the Congress. They've also registered a complaint against the corporator. The BJP Mahila Morcha leader spoke to India Today against this controversial statement, condemning it. Listen in first to exactly what the Congress corporator said.
ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಗುಡಿ ಗುಂಡಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಚಡ್ಡಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರ. ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ರಿ ನೀವು. ಅಂತ ಚಡ್ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಲೌಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರ. ಅಂತವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ ಮಾರಾಯರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಾಜದ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಕಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವು?
एक भी अगर मंदिर में गए सो प्रूफ बता दिए तो मैं उनका बात पे सहमत हूँ. अगर नहीं बताएंगे तो हम लोग वही उनको और उनके फैमिली को वही चड्डी पे हम शाहबाद मंडल में बिठाएंगे बोल के मेरा ये एक आग्रह था. और उनके अगेंस्ट ऑलरेडी FIR भी हुआ है. इमीडिएट अहमद और उनके जो भी प्रोटेस्ट में साथ थे सभी लोग हमारे हिंदू महिलाओं से जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ उनका गलती हुआ बोल के वो माफ़ी पूछना. अगर नहीं पूछेंगे बोले तो हमारा ये जो प्रोटेस्ट रहेगा आगे हम लेकर जाएंगे.
Nolan Pinto is joining us with more on this. Nolan, leave it to our politicians to make any issue as ugly as it can get. The BJP has registered a complaint now against this Congress corporator, but has there been any comment, any clarification from the Congress on this?
Well, absolutely no reactions from the Congress coming in. In fact, Akshita, this is absolutely despicable. One would expect some sort of decency. You want to fight. You want to argue on basis of facts. But going in this below the belt, low down, despicable statement is really not accepted in a democracy such as ours. So we'll just wait to see if the Congress actually react to this. If DK Shivkumar, who is actually being taking the moral high ground on various issues, actually reacts or apologizes on behalf of the corporate, or makes him to apologize for what he has said that has actually hurt the sentiment of all the Hindus over here. So we just have to wait and see, because as of now, and a complaint has been filed with the police. We have to see if the police also take action against this corporator.
All right, we'll track the latest reactions that come in on this, Nolan. At this point, very stoic silence from the Congress on the corporator making this kind of a comment. Thanks for the moment for joining us.